All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome once again to the LPL in English. Brought to you by Ghost of Gamers and Games in Asia. Guys, we're going to be getting ready to get into set number 2. We had quite a break. There was some early games, but we're back now. Once again, I'm Pyrotechnics on the casting desk with Chris the Man. Chris, are you ready for set number 2 tonight?
Very excited for the one that's coming up between Starhorn and LGD, of course. As you can see from the screen, there's some predictions from the Chinese casters that they think that Starhorn's going to go 2-0. Don't blame them for it. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting set. We discussed it a little bit during the off time. But LGD, a team that probably has done a little bit better than some have expected of them. But right now, they're... I don't know. This is going to be a tough matchup for them. Starhorn's starting to find their rhythm. And, well, we'll get into introducing the players right now. Over on the side of LGD, it is going to be 17 in the top lane. He runs a lot of Gragas. He runs a lot of Jax right now, of course, as you can see from what they got. But he also plays a lot of interesting picks as well. Yasuo, Lulu kind of things, too. He likes to play carry top laners, and this has sort of been considered their weakness. But over to the jungler. You want to take it from here? Because I know you have a pronunciation thing you want to get in.
Yeah, so I think it's a very common mispronunciation, especially for people who maybe don't speak Mandarin as their native language. It's Quan, which means it's not like Quan or like Quan or anything like that. It's Quan. So kind of channel the CH sound. And of course on your screen you have Wayless as well, the mid laner for LGD. So a little bit of correction there and a bit of interesting information for you guys while trying to figure out how to pronounce this player's names.
I'm going to try it. Chun. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, just remember like how you pronounce chin, and you have this like ch sound, right? It's like it's just that. So Chun, yeah.
We're educating as well as entertaining on the stream. It's edutainment. And we kind of glossed over it, but that's XQ on the AD carry, and of course his support will be PYL, the captain of this team, heart and soul of the team, actually. Some might say Wayless actually joined the team, I think specifically because of his leadership. However, a bit of a team in turmoil, and LGD certainly not favored over their opponents tonight. We're going to be seeing them in just a moment. Starhorn Royal Club, what many consider to be the dark horse team, rocking some Korean talent as well. They have Insec in the jungle, very iconic jungler. And speaking of Chuan right there, we have... he's very famous for one champion, Lee Sin, but so is Insec. I expect this to be a highly contested pick. And should it get taken away from LGD, this could be a bit of a problem. But here we go. Zero in the support role. We've seen he has some interesting picks. Brand recently making Windfall. That was a really, really odd game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I think kind of pulling out the innovation for that one. And I mean, it's really interesting to see because the Chinese scene has been known for the longest time already to pull out this really innovative picks here. As now moving over to, as the crowd cheers, Yu Zhai, one of the most highly profiled AD carries over at China.
Very popular, and he's loving this patch. You can tell just the way he was smiling over there. 410's been treating his Caitlyn very kindly. Korn, going to be rocking the mid lane. Korn plays quite a lot of things. He's very good at farming, and just in general, a solid pickup player for, of course, Starhorn Royal Club. And then in the jungle, it is the one and only Insec. He's played a lot of interesting things lately. Rengar been one of his repertoire, and Skarner, as you've recently seen. But definitely expect him to try and go for the Lee Sin tonight, just because he knows it's a pretty good takeaway.
Yeah, speaking about the Lee Sin as well, I kind of have some things to add on for our viewers who are just watching the stream right now. As right now we are switching over to our last player on the roster, Kohler, up in the top lane. Just finding some of his position in the game so far with a variety of picks with Gragas, Shyvana, and Jax, of course, as you can see on your screen. So I think there's a lot of things going into this game between LGD and Starhorn. Of course, Starhorn is on the 4th position, so if they at least take a game off tonight, they will be able to, get that position ahead of IG, who has just won over with a 2-0 as well, so they would be looking to at least get one win. But just a very quick, interesting thing about these two teams: the last time that they met up against each other, they had a lot of debate because it was Insect's first debut performance in the LPL, right? So they were thinking whether Chen is gonna pick Lee Sin to try to one up against Insect, and in the very first game, he managed to do it. But then in the second game, Starhorn was the one to pick up the Lee Sin, and he had to default back to something like a Kha'Zix, which did not do too well. That's why they went 1-1 the last time they met up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Hopefully we see. Yeah,
it's been a big problem.
We see
every time Chen has not managed to get it, but this time it's been making it through picks and bans, and Starhorn has a tough choice now. Rengar, Ziggs, and Braum all taken away on the side of LGD. On the blue side, of course, Caston and Lulu now banned as well. For Starhorn, do they take away Lee Sin here, or do they risk it being first pick? I mean, it's not super dangerous, so I think they're going to leave it open. It's just that Chen really needs it. So I expect that to be the first pickup, and it is Yasuo banned out as that last one. And they answer with Cole at the top.
Yeah, and it's almost like Starhorn is daring LGD to pick up the Lee Sin in the top lane, which I think Trent will be very, very happy to pick up on their side. And Kola is going to answer with the Gragas on the top lane, very strong pick, but the Kog'Maw coming in so early might be a problem because you're showing your hands early, so we'll have to see how Starhorn actually works around that as the Thresh Hover comes around. And with the ban phase from LGD, it's a lot of targeted bans as well, just with the Rengar, like you mentioned, for Insect, and of course Ziggs for Korn, who has been performing extremely well on the champion. But they're just leaving a bunch of big options open. Lee Sin was taken away from LGD, and then now they're looking at champions like Thresh, which they will lock in and kill as well. So some big picks coming in from LGD. We might see them actually, default back to some of these comfort champions that they have been played before.
Yeah, might do. Right now, Uzi hovering to see if he wants to take Insect's jungle. Might end up being the Elise pick. And this is, of course, one of the other top-tier junglers. Evelyn also in the mix as well. Stealth is considered extremely strong in China. Kha'Zix could even make an appearance, but they're not locking it just yet. Looks like they're going to lock in Leona this time, and Korn will go on Orianna. Very stable, safe pickup as well. But yeah, the Kog'Maw pickup early was really interesting. It kind of demonstrates how confident Starhorn is going into this, that they can just feel free to take an AD carry so quickly.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that for Yuzia as an AD carry, he is pretty renowned for the fact that he might be able to lane pretty well. But the problem is that when it comes to team fights, he sort of put himself in very peculiar positions. And I think if you cast your mind back to even Season 3 Worlds when he was still playing on the team, he put himself in very peculiar positions, but managed to turn things around just because of how he's able to kite back in the fight sometimes. But now on Kog'Maw is really, really mobile. And so we look at some of the remaining picks coming in from LGD. It's going to be the Zed in the mid lane. And of course, it's just locking the Lucian as well to go up with the Thresh. So just a overall really strong bottom lane duel for LGD secured for them.
Last lock in now coming in. Insect will get his... It's not an insect, it's actually a arachnid, of course, Elise. So another popular jungle pickup. Yeah, it's more edutainment, right? And 17 is going to be taking another carry-style favorite in the top, Kale. But against Kola's Gragas, this might be a bit of a weak point. Way less choosing to go with sort of another carry style. This is pretty typical of LGD. They want to go very heavy on the carry. And if they make plays early, it might work out for them. They have decent late-game scaling. I don't know how I feel about this one, though. I can't help but thinking Starhorn has something planned.
Yeah, they should have something going up against each other, and I'm just casting my mind back to the first time that these two teams met up with each other. There was a lot of, I think the Chinese casters were calling it the blood-boiling moments where LGD were very hyped up because they won the very first game over Starhorn in that best of 2 set. But this time around, I think it's very different. The grounds are extremely different because LGD, they are kind of looking to regain their grounds again, whereas for Starhorn, they have been pretty consistent, going 1-1 with most of the other teams. But that said, though, this is going to be a big challenge for them. They need to at least take one game off to secure their position in the 4th spot. If not, they will be in trouble when going up against IG.
Absolutely. It's going to be a match that has a lot riding for it. Starhorn, of course, still pretty big game for them as well, just because they want to make sure that they keep themselves up in the standings. They have a lot to prove still going into it. And here we go into game number 1 of set number 2. This is week 6, day 2 of the LPL summer. And LGD spawning on the blue side. And then, of course, on the red side, it's going to be Starhorn rocking those red trunks. So, as we get into this game, looking at the way the team comps are set up, nothing really suggests that there'll be any crazy lane swaps or anything like that. I think XQ and PYL are probably content to take this 2v2, even though Uzi and Zero, pretty scary combination to deal with. Do you suspect anything weird to come out of this? Uzi is now hovering around closer to the top.
I wouldn't exactly be too surprised if Starhorn actually go for the lane swap, because while the current Cogmore in his new kit, ever since that few patches ago, is going to do quite well in lane, but I think generally a Lucian threshing is still very difficult to deal with, as Chen just kicks Insect in the face just to lay down the tone.
And this is going to be sort of a muscling in, early invade coming out from Starhorn Royal Club as they get themselves a couple of deep wards, make the rounds, and go out on back. And actually, 17's in a really weird spot right now. He's going to be able to get out. Yep, no problem. He does get his deep ward down, so I think they do want to go for the lane swap so far, but everybody else on the side of LGD going for the blue buff invade. This is not seen at all right now by Starhorn, but they're pinging to go to the other blue anyway. So guessing correctly, this is a nice move for them. Actually, they did see it. They have a ward down in that river.
So it looks like it's going to be that lane swap after all, and I think it's not too bad of an option for Starhorn, because of course, as much as possible, they want to put XQ in a comfortable position.
Yep.
So
buff's just spawning now. So at about 2 minutes into this game, yeah, this is looking to be a nice little lane swap maneuver, but it's Starhorn actually instigating it, and they are moving just a little bit quicker. Shouldn't make too much a difference anyways, because it's been sort of non-aggression, and it looks like we're going to see that jungle buddy system come into play. So this might favor Starhorn just a little bit, because Cola can benefit a little bit better from that maneuver rather than 17, who's going to have his power spike delayed a little bit. What do you think needs to happen going forward for LGD to get a grip on this early game?
I think it's definitely going to be very important for Insect to just move around the map a lot faster than Chen, because like we talked about it before, Chen is a guy who makes a lot of plays when he gets that Lee Sin. So in that sense, it's going to be up to Insect to stop his aggression, and the last time we saw these two teams met up against each other, LGD, they were the ones with the Lee Sin in the early game as well, and Chen was just making plays all around the map, and Insect had no way to respond to that. But this time around, it's going to be, you know, he's on Elise, so he has some plays to work with as LGD go for this really, really early dragon.
Yep, this is a little bit more what we expected at China, but whoa, Chen's getting really taken low by that, has to burn his flash to get out. The teleport comes in from Cola to back them off the dragon, and they actually manage a nice punish maneuver for that. And that just burns time for LGD. They couldn't quite follow it up.
Yeah, and I think it's a good preemptive ward coming out from Starhorn as well. And I think we were talking about it in the pre-show session as well, that Starhorn is one of those teams who are slowly progressing to have a lot more vision control. So it was a good preemptive ward for them to actually, you know, place down the dragon area, and you know, they just punished LGD heavily for it, as I think there was a little bit of mismaneuvering coming out as well, with Chen taking so much dragon aggro.
Yeah, they didn't juggle it at all. That was really strange. So now PYL, XQ in the bot lane pushing forward onto Cola, but he is able to sustain quite a lot through this, actually starting the Doran's ring as well. And I thought maybe the Flask would come in, but it's okay. He's got a whole bunch of drink to go through. He doesn't really need to drink any more out of that. Zero now, looking for engage onto Wayless in the mid side. Korn though, he's baiting it out hard. Wayless realizes he's in a bad spot, flashes, but he still gets locked up by the cocoon. This is probably going to be first blood. He's getting ignited again, but they don't want to follow through on it. Starhorn Royal Club taking way too much aggro as Insect takes a huge chunk. Wayless still in trouble though, but Sean's around the other side. Maybe he'll be able to make something happen. Actually, he finds Zero. Oh, Insect, he's going forward. He gets the first blood, and he narrowly avoids going down. Wow, the Ignite doesn't quite take him down. Repel comes in at the perfect moment to save the life of Insect. Well, saving his own life, rather. Everybody else is trading pretty hard, though. PYL looked for the counter maneuver, couldn't quite find it. Nicely played by Starhorn.
Yeah, and I think it's just something that we expect coming out of Insect to go so aggressively in that one. It was a pretty hit and miss moment for them, but fortunately for him, he came out on top and took Wayless down. And I felt that, you know, Wayless could have played a little safer in that one. He got took down so low already, he could have just easily backed off from the turret and just gave that little bit of advantage over to Korn, but instead he chose to stuck around way too long and got punished for it.
Yeah, that was really odd. I think he was depending very much on Chuan to come in and make some kind of counterplay, but didn't quite happen. And yeah, Insect, that was unbelievable how he was able to stay alive. Oh no! Oh, the Scar Award.
Oh yeah, the pink ward.
That is,
it's unfortunate when it happens.
Yeah, that's just rough luck. But you know, what are you gonna do? Can't blame him. He's
Yeah.
blind. He couldn't see where he was putting it.
Oh man, that's a rough one. But yeah, considering he's been playing a lot of Lee Sin, you would think that he would be able to feel out the ward positions a lot
the
better.
force or something. Well, Shuan's making his way to the
so-
top now. 17 is finding he might need a little bit of help. Uzi's actually pretty low. Zero's coming in on this one. Whoa, that might be too far forward. That is a lot of damage being dealt as the spit rolls out. That is like one of the most disgusting abilities in League, but it works out pretty well. Wayless now still continuing to trade with Korn, as Korn actually a little bit behind in farm, unusual for him. Insect going to make a move around the side, as well as Cola. Uzi's really low. PYL's going to get a catch off. Summoner heal used, but so was the Ignite, and he goes down to Kathy in surprise. Narrowly takes down Kale, actually. So they answer back onto 17. Couldn't quite pull him in. Wayless, meanwhile, has to death mark into Insect. He is getting jumped all over. The repels coming in. Can they take him down? Flashing out of this one, Cola. Gonna auto-attack him, but it won't be enough to take him down. A lot of pressure being applied to this mid-side. Kill score, though, 2-1 in favor of Starhorn. Slight lead this game so far.
Yeah, kind of a derpy moment for the AD carry for Starhorn as well. You know, he.
Whoa!
Sorry. No.
Serious chase. Cola nearly gets hooked up. LGD really want to take these early team fights. And this is, I think this plays to their comp really well anyways. So now they're going to go for this dragon at not even really an early time anymore. 7 minutes, 20 seconds or so. And Starhorn not even trying to answer.
Yeah, actually this is a pretty good group up coming in from LGD because they knew for a fact that they have sort of taken out the AD carry up in the top lane, and they knew the exact position from most of the members from Starhorn, so they just group up as 5, take the dragon for themselves, get the timing in as well, and with that they will close in the goal gap. But with all these little maneuvers that they have been doing around the map, they have been leaving a lot of time actually for UZI up at the top lane as we get a replay.
Yep, UZI goes down on that. Nice hook by PYL, and 17's like, oh, I can totally kite this out with the lantern. Oh no, the Cathian surprise, and he explodes right in the middle of the lantern. That was actually really nice, a nice move by UZI to secure that one. So Zero now looking to dive onto 17. There is UZI around the side. Insect looking for the chase. They have just been roaming for days this game. Surprised the kill count is actually not higher at this point, but LGD doing a fantastic job of zoning away and realizing where the threats are and making plays on it. Now that Cola has been forced away from his tower because everybody on Starhorn is, you know, functioning towards the top. Xuan trying to take his blue now. Yeah, this has been a really, really crazy game compared to the last set we had.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about Zero roaming around the map as well is this adaptation that Starhorn had, because I think the last time when they met up against each other, it was PYL that was the one just roaming around the map to make the plays happen. But this time around, it is effectively like the Korean roaming squad, right? You know, with Insect and Zero just moving all around the map to at least exert some pressure, even if they don't get the kill. So, you know, they're doing pretty well at doing so. But that being said, LGD is playing a very intelligent game here because all their little movements that they have made all throughout the game has, you know, come up with some sort of rewards for themselves, either the dragon or, you know, just forcing someone away from the turret or something like that. So even though there's a lot of pressure, but they're still keeping close in terms of goal count, so it's not too bad. But surprisingly, Chen hasn't been making a big impact in the game, which is somewhat worrying.
Yeah, Chun hasn't really made a huge impact. However, he has been there when his team really needs him to. And it looks like we have a pause coming in. Yeah, I really like the way that they're playing the objective game, realizing, hey, there's 3 top, we can go bot right now and shove it. And that's exactly what they did, zoning Colo away as he was unable to really sustain through that. They've been able to set up a couple picks. They've got themselves a dragon. LGD really is looking like they haven't had the communication and frictional issues that they've been suspected of in the last few games, last few sets. This looks like a much better team, much more deserving of a higher spot right now. We'll see if Starhorn can answer this one, but while we've got the pause going in, this game very even so far. What does Starhorn do to try and get an edge in this?
Okay, so I was trying to listen into the Chinese casters to find out what happened in that one. It looks like Wailers has a small issue with the keyboards and the screen as well, so hopefully that gets fixed up really quickly. So I think it's a pretty even game so far, and like what I told you, it's LGD making a lot more intelligent decisions in this game as compared to Starhorn. While they have been roaming around to try to lay down some aggression, but they haven't been translated into kills, and that's going to be a problem for them, because for them, even though they have this composition where they can pull off the big wombo combos with the Oriana out and the Solar Flash from Leona as well, but they really need to get their laners rolling to make sure that they get the edge in the middle to late game. That's it though. LGD, they need to step up on the pace to try to, make the picks happen. Because if you look at it, there's a lot of pick potential on their end with Chen now playing Lee Sin, and even having Zed in the entire equation as well. So they definitely have the early to mid game edge. They cannot afford to give this away over to Starhorn, because they will have that late game scaling combo, which is going to be a problem which they will not be able to deal with.
Yeah, and Kale, on the top lane right now, has a pretty solid late game especially, so I know that they didn't send this against, Starhorn didn't want to send Gragas against it, but I really like the scaling out of LGD better if they can sustain through that game, like you said. So we'll see if they can make that happen. It's very early on, considering all the action that's actually happened. And it looks like we're going to unpause, about 9.5 minutes in now. Considering the style that LGD likes to employ with this double carry mentality, Kale on 17, or 17 on Kale, excuse me, way less on Zed, this is really nice for them if they can start racking up the kills. XQ and PYL have been able to hold their own anyways, and they're just kind of trying to counter roam everything Starhorn does. And I really like the way that they're responding here. So right now, looks like we're just going to see a lot of people clustering up for the lanes. Insect trying to bait out another fight.
Yeah, I think the pressure is now on for PYL. He needs to really mirror Zero and Insect's movements. Because if you look at it, if they have this roaming squad coming in, it's definitely going to be LGD coming out on top with the Thresh, with the Lee Sin as well. Might see a pick happen now.
They really have nice pick composition too, especially you see that. You see the Lee Sin Thresh roam. That's just displacement for days.
You don't want to go anywhere near it.
Nope, Insect, although he might want to. He's looking for a chase. He gets a cocoon out of PYL. Whoa! Sean actually dodging out there. Zero's Solar Flare, but Kola, Uzi and Zero might have something to say about that. Kale's ultimate is going to come out. Sean's going to melt, though. Uzi going to mop his first kill of the game. And now 17 being chased on. Kola, can he dash forward in time? PYL's low. They turn onto him. Another kill over to Uzi, and there's still a lot going for this one. It's a triple! He picks it up once again, although XQ's going to answer back onto that with a double kill of his own. Cathian Surprise going to chase him all the way down. Can't quite make it happen. But whoa! Things just turned up. Excuse me, that was not the first kill, by the way, for Uzi. That was his second, third, and fourth. But still, 4 and 2, pretty respectable Kog'Maw score right now, despite giving XQ a couple more kills and the ability to free push this top. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, that's it though. That's it though. I think overall LGD took the better of the deal because they came out, I believe, 2-4. The entire exchange, and it was just the matter of fact that Starhorn just dove in extremely deep onto that one. Even though I have to give some props over to Kola, his teleport timing was pretty good to make sure that they got the kill, and the culling comes through actually, and Insect was able to survive through, as now XQ is just gonna push up in the top lane.
Yep. That was a nice maneuver. XQ managing to stay alive, netted himself quite a few kills on that one, avoided being taken down by Uzi at the end of the day. And yeah, it just seems like Starhorn might be getting, Uzi might be getting quite big, but that's most of where the gold is sitting right now. Insect's got a pair of kills himself, nobody else does on the team. And well, XQ might have a good number of the kills on LGD's side, but the Dragon is going to even up the gold overall for everybody. And now this next one coming up in a minute, We'll see how that goes. But here's the replay. 0 gets kicked in. Xuan gets chunked down nearly before 17 comes in and gets the intervention off of. Then he tries to cut away, gets taken down immediately. PYL already low, can't get involved in this fight. 17 is getting chased down by Cola. Hooked in though. Cola gets the summoner heal out, and everybody just goes ham. So there goes Kale. Hey, I wanted to keep talking about that, but they moved it over. Way less goes on to Insec. Actually doesn't get him because he gets ignited, taken down, and the repel comes out. But in the meanwhile, XQ is able to dodge away from that one. I still think LGD, yeah, definitely adapting and playing quite better than a lot of people might have expected.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that you expect these two teams to go so even, given their track records on the league.
XQ! And he's going down. That's another kill to UZI. And I guess they decided to swap back down to the bot lane.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good move from Starhorn actually, because Dragon was already coming up, so you know, LGD did not see that coming, and with the vision control not being so strong on their end, they were unable to get the read onto what Starhorn was trying to go for. So it's a big turnaround for Starhorn in that one, because up in the top lane they go for the 2-4 trade, but they did not get any objectives out of that. But that move right there definitely secured something.
Yeah, it really, really helps. Now Xuan trying to come in, doesn't get the Smite Steal off, and he nearly gets Zenith bladed on as well. It was a nice attempt though, and LG, like we've been saying though, they may be taking the worst of these engages just barely. They're still keeping up relatively well. That Dragon will put some more gold into the pockets of Starhorn World Club as they move into this kind of shaky mid-game. Both teams really looking for the roam kills. XQ, we got to be careful though. 0 hanging around the bushes waiting for the Zenith Blade. Can he get it? He does. Gets flayed back. 0 still going. The box is down though. Insect's in the picture. UZI is taking low. PYL tanking all the damage, and it looks like PYL is going to be melting. That was quite the living artillery.
Actually, now Starhorn coming up huge in this mid-game stages after exiting the laning phase. So yeah, it's going to be quite difficult for LGD. Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult for LGD.
Starting to take little leads, but I can't emphasize enough that LGD has looked pretty good in keeping up with them. They just are falling a little bit behind now, and they just haven't been able to take anything off of the back of seeing all that pressure around the bot side. When the Dragon was going, they might have wanted to shove towards the mid, although Korn was defending pretty well regardless. So now Wayless, who's actually, amazingly enough, kept up perfectly in farm with Korn, which is, anyone in the LPL will tell you, is pretty difficult to do, to be honest.
Yeah, that's exactly
the reason it's called Korn. You can farm all day.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, we went
there. What if you call it the farmer then? But
the farmer? I guess so. Needs his own skin.
Yeah, but the farmer Korn skin?
Yeah, there we go. Farmer Oriana. Farmer Ziggs.
Yeah, but coming back to this game, I think we've reached a pretty critical point in the game. LGD really needs to come up with some responses of their own, because right now they're just bleeding away all this gold to Starhorn, which is going to be a problem because, like I said, you know, the late game scaling Kongma is going to be a problem. And if you look at the team fights, Starhorn has the potential to have a lot more zone control, just because of the Oriana and of course having Gragas as well, who's going to be able to knock people back when they feel like, okay, it's time to, you know, stop fighting and just get out of there.
And a 6-2 Uzi on Kog'Maw's not going to hurt either. That's,
so
he's already got a Trinity Force, and it's 16.5 minutes and a Bilgewater Cutlass. That's going to get really scary. Talk about shredding your armor. So Insect and Cola hanging around the top side right now. Waiting for somebody to check into a bush. That likely isn't going to happen. 17 has 0 interest in going to lane right now. In fact, he's just going to take white. Xuan in the picture, down on the bot side. Uzi coming around the side. 0 looks like he's locked up. It's a 2v3. They still are taking this, though. Uzi is getting locked up. Cola's on the teleport in. Can they stay alive in time? Summoner heal being popped. 0 around the side. Xuan, he's getting aggressed on. Separated from the team. Looks like it's going to be 0 going down. Xuan staying alive for just a moment, but Uzi picks him off at the end of the day. Cola trying to distract from the rest. Living Artillery is going to come out. XQ narrowly avoiding it. There's the Kale intervention, and they do trade. 2 for 1, actually. LGD coming up big this time, and Uzi barely makes it out alive.
And in the mid lane as well, we actually saw Wayless killing off, you know, Korn in a very close fashion. Look at his blinking red health bar.
That one, XQ! Oh, he's going down. That is why you don't try to solo the Cog.
Oh my goodness, and he definitely overextended, found himself in a bad position where he didn't want to.
Yeah, oh man. That literally went from a great situation to not so great.
Yeah, and I think the big difference there was that Insect was not there to join the team. And I almost felt like Koda had a pretty good timing with the teleport, but it was at a time when, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you see Corrin trying to come down. That was a nice Sonya's Hourglass to avoid the death mark, actually, for just a moment. But yeah, Corrin could not get to that bot side, and Waylass just, well, did what Waylass does, apparently.
Yeah, the magic shield coming in definitely helped him there. So still a very pretty even game though, even though Starhorn is up by about 2,000 goals. So.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a very even set just because of the reactions from LGD. They're taking little advantages, trying to snowball them in their favor, but they're getting stopped, and LGD is taking pretty good fights. The problem is they're chasing a little too far. You saw XQ give up a completely unnecessary kill to try and secure a shutdown on Uzi, and they just have to play a little safer. That's really all LGD has to do.
And I think because of all this action around the map, he has accelerated the laning phase for UZI. So right now he's 8-2-0, finished up the Trinity Force as well as the Blade of the Roaring King. So he's going to come out huge in the next team fight, which means he's going to be able to kite back even more effectively. Even if he gets kicked in by Tren into the rest of the LGD team, I don't think he's just going to go down anytime soon.
I mean, this is massive.
It's going to be a problem.
They've also got a comp built pretty much around him. I mean, this is like your CLG-esque protect the carry. You know, you've got the Cogma sitting in the back line. You've got Elise to off-tank. Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute because XQ, he's getting locked up. A big solar flare. Zero goes in, but he gets hooked. And now, Shuan dives back with a safeguard. However, they take down XQ, and Wayless, not on the right side of the fight, goes down, and Starhorn Royal Club pick themselves up a two-man advantage. Pingin down for the mid lane. Where are they going now? Are they really going for Baron? I think they're going for a chase on 17. No, they're going for Baron. Welcome to China, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go with the two-man advantage. Even though Shuan has got the smite in there, they feel comfortable enough to go for this one. Uzi trying to zone this out. Full knowledge gained by LGD right now, but the Baron is starting to fall. 17, not sure if he can get in there. Can Shuan get the smite seal off? They're missing the cocoons. He's going, gone! And that was Corrin taking him down. They turn away from the fight. They turn away from the Baron onto the fight. PYL getting poked out. He's got just the tiniest of health bars. Living Artillery will force him to flash away, and they take down Zero. Who needs Baron? That was bait. They got it anyways. And now, Starhorn Royal Club kicking it up a notch, going straight for this mid lane.
Yeah, you know, there was a lot of turning points in the game.
PYL wandered right into that one, and Uzi licking his lips. 10-2 on this game. They're going to secure a dragon now. What just happened, Chris?
Yeah, so there were a lot of points in the game where LGD was able to capitalize and maybe sort of turn the game around. So that's why we saw before that whole shenanigan in the mid lane, it was pretty even, but it was the whole area effect coming into play here with you know, with the Oriana Shockwave and the Solar Flare stacking up, which was too much for LGD to handle, and they went for the Baron call as well. So in that sense, they just took a huge objective off of that, taking the Baron and taking the 2 kills out of that as well. So you're calling it the CLG comp, right? So good calls, good plays. Seemed
to work out pretty well in their favor. He took a huge gamble, said, hey, we can go for this Baron at 20 minutes. I mean, that really takes some confidence, and it worked out well for them. So LGD in a pretty big hole right now. Not one they can't climb out of, but what a power play out of Starhorn Royal Club, and showing why they really deserve to be in contention for that top level of teams. Maybe hard to say, I guess, since it's against LGD, not really on the top of those standings, but if they can pull maneuvers like that against some of the better teams in LPL, then Starhorn Royal Club really has a shot at these playoffs coming up.
I guess that's the reason why they're crowned as the dark horse for the LPL in the time being, and
yeah, I suppose so. Well, Zero
right now, yeah,
that was a misfire, but no harm, no foul. They get out in time. And now they find Shuan. Oh, and he goes down before they can do anything about it. Lee Sin absolutely melting. 0-4 in this game. He really has not had the impact, and this is his best champion.
That is a big problem. That's going to come up for Chen in the next game, but LGD, Starhorn definitely taking out on LGD in this one, and it was just a big steamroll of events ever since that whole Baron call, and
Yeah.
The biggest player in the game, UZI, 10-2-2 already. So.
Oh, PYL. I mean, you could just see the scaling differential. 17. He's half health, 0, tanking a lot. He's actually going to go down in that one, but they're still completely okay with that. Execute, running for his life, all the way back to Fountain if he can make it. Shin is going to kick away Insect just to save the life of his carry, but he gets ignited, goes down, way less coming forward, finds himself a kill. And I cannot believe he's starting to turn this one around. Takes down Insect. He's already gotten UZI. Way less kiting around. See if he can get away from this one. No, he can't. Corn will finish him up. Cola helped out on that one, and they're going to be getting themselves an inhibitor. They managed to shut down the Kog'Maw, but there's still an Orianna and a Gragas to deal with. PUL's finally come back up, but Starhorn is starting to really roll forward with this game.
Yeah, that was the ace as well from Starhorn, and they secured themselves the mid lane inhibitor, which is gonna be, beneficial for them. They open up the map, which means one more extra path to victory. And yeah, like I was saying at the start of the game, the pressure is definitely on for Insect to keep the LGD squad under wraps, which is exactly what he did. And of course, he did have some help from Zero as well. We saw the roaming support come through from Zero, and all these little maneuvers that they had has definitely paid true for them. And I think Chen hasn't been able to find the spot, the sweet spot that he needs to be in, and that was a big problem overall for LGD in this first game of the set.
It's a rough spot, if anything. 0-5-4 on Lee Sin, and I think at this point, given how this game is looking to turn out, Starhorn might just want to let him take that champion again. It's got to be demoralizing when you can't really do much on your favorite champion.
Yeah, and I think the other big problem is that LGD was playing a little bit too passive in the start, where they should have been the one looking for the aggression.
He's getting dove on here. He might go down. I don't think he's really got a whole lot of... Oh, the lantern! Oh, PYL! Hero Thresh comes in to save his life, and they're not done with him yet, actually forcing him to flash away from the solar flare. That'll burn a hole in the ground. UZI and Cola on the chase, or rather on the roam now. And they're still looking to keep pushing. A little counter jungling coming in from 17 and Shion, but it might be a little bit too late. They're just hiding in the bush now. They have all the time in the world to be patient.
Yeah, Starhorn now in the driver's seat. They should be looking to close out the game relatively quickly. It's almost in the bag for them. Not too sure what LGD can do to try to come back from this, and yeah, it's hitting a point where Wailers can't even snipe anyone from 100 to 0 right off the bat, which is going to be a problem. You want your assassins to be powerful enough to cause a threat, so they can even go for stuff like split pushing, so they don't have that.
And they don't have that late game scaling on their side just yet, because it's only 25 minutes into the game. If you really want 17 to start getting big, you got to wait a while, and they really just don't have that luxury anymore. 5-man push now on this bot side, waiting for someone on LGD to make the first move. Starhorn looking so confident in this game number 1. UZI is going to get kicked. Well, he's going to get the Lee Sin Q onto him, but no daring to go in on that one. Actually, everyone's getting pretty low. There's the kick in. Xuan's going to initiate the fight. Solarflow's going to land on 17. Can't do much about it. Xuan's going to go down. The ball's landing. 17 out of position. PYL now gets the box down. Cola, can he survive this one? I don't think so. Looks like it's going to be 17 going down. Everybody from Starhorn's bruised and battered, but Wayless going in one by one, and they're not doing anything about it. PYL trying to kite away. Hooks in. He's going down. That is going to be another kill over to UZI. Insect is going to secure the ace, and this should be game. It's 26 minutes. There's an inhibitor down. What are we doing? We don't need those other ones. We'll go straight for the Nexus. GG, well played. And Starhorn Royal Club take a commanding game number 1.
Yeah, that was definitely huge for them, and UZI coming out huge. 13 kills in the game, 3 deaths, but 13, 3, and 8, huge, coming out huge in that game. Accelerated laning phase as well, so at the end of the day, LGD,
they do not look happy.
Yeah, they do not look happy at all. I think some frustrations around the team, and a very different LGD squad from the first time that these two teams met up with each other, so yeah, they definitely have to go back to the drawing board.
That was rough, and it all stemmed from that 1-2-man advantage fight that turned into a Baron. The whole snowball just started going from there. LGD has some soul searching to do going into game number 2. They're going to have to try and come back from this one. See if they can repeat the results where they split last time with Starhorn Royal Club. We'll see what happens, but guys, we're going to do a quick commercial break, so when we return, game number 2 of the